So am I.
Check. Hello, everybody. How are you? It is Wednesday. Check it out. Yo, the boys are in his house.
It is New Comic Wednesday. Beautiful weather. What a great day.
I know. It is 71 beautiful degrees outside today.
The sun is shining.
It is.
And the computers called us and said, it's comic book time. We need to be talking some comic books.
That's right. We will. Fraga Boom is our guest. And let's say Past Master Dan, Randy Howell. Hello. Leg Kick is in the house. Chris Thacker. Hello. Amanda B. What is up? Marcus Killigrew, Belmont Press. Admiral Wackass. What's up, everybody? Pinned to the top of the chat is the sign-up page for our newest project from the world of Kordrath, Lilith, Infernal Conflict. We'll share it and show it later. But without further ado, let's bring on the Boom. What's up, Boom?
Oh, that is apropos.
Banana time.
Is it Chiquita?
No, it's one banana.
Oh, it's just one.
It's one.
It's just one banana.
All right,
yeah,
we're gonna start the show off. We've got a major fanboy question. We're gonna show you a picture of two ships in space, and you tell us which one would win in a dogfight. Dennis, share the screen.
And this comes courtesy of.
Nope, it doesn't matter. Just share the screen.
Come on,
it doesn't matter.
It does.
No, it doesn't. Who would win in a fight?
Well, the Enterprise can destroy a whole planet. So yeah, I'm going with the Enterprise.
The Enterprise can destroy a whole planet?
Yes.
Yeah.
When was that?
Many times.
Wow.
They don't actually destroy a planet, but if you watch the Mirror Universe one, which is the same Enterprise, they lay waste to the Hawkins.
I think the Star Destroyer would take it out. Now, Dennis tells me, well, the Star Destroyer shoots lasers, and the Enterprise has force fields that can repel any laser. You know what I say to that?
What?
Can that fucking force field repel a straight-on fucking physical hit from that big-ass Star Destroyer?
Good luck, dude. That's like trying to hit a fly with a pencil, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Only the Karate Kid could catch a fly with chopsticks.
That's
I don't know
right,
what you're
but he
talking
needed
about.
two.
The amount of space. Picture my hand.
Okay,
right. That's the Star Destroyer on its back, right?
How's it going to hit?
And this is the Enterprise. Just goes whack.
How's it going to hit it?
No, it's not going to do that. It's
slow.
not going to
get out of here.
Titanic turning into a speedboat.
No.
It's not gonna. Exactly. It's not gonna. It's like an Impala racing a motorcycle. You know.
Boy, Dan, if you're not going to take my side when I have you on our show, I'm not bringing
taking anybody's side, Andy.
You just took Dennis's side.
I didn't take Dennis's side. I took the Enterprise, which is my side.
Right.
Always take my side.
Damn you. You're supposed to back me up.
So Billy put up a really good one because he actually put up a clip, which even Picard says, oh, lasers can't penetrate our shields. Yeah, you can sit there and fire all you want. It's not going to penetrate it. Whereas the shielding that's on a Star Destroyer, I'm sorry, a couple of photons, they'll go right through them. The phasers will. Yeah, it's not even a contest.
Chris Thacker says legions of TIE fighters come out, swarm the Enterprise as well as the Star Destroyer. I'm with Andy. The Empire wins.
Chris, I had hopes for you.
Here's another reason why those TIE fighters come out and they just kamikaze the shit out of the Enterprise. Boom. Those shields are worthless.
You know what? You guys can go back and watch Deep Space Nine when they had the big Dominion War, where they had all of the Jem'Hadar fighters. How did that turn out? Oh yeah.
You know what this shit always sounds like to me?
Again.
It's PC versus Mac. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Just enjoy the computing.
That's right. The Star Destroyer is a Mac. It's useful for some things. Now, the Star Destroyer is faster from point to point because hyperspace is faster than warp speed, but hyperspace, they have lanes. You can only travel in certain places, whereas in warp speed, they can travel anywhere they want.
So you never know.
It's different technology.
Yeah. Like a Mac and a PC.
Boy.
Lasers versus photons or whatever. The lithium crystals versus metachlorians.
Yeah, that's right. See, Chris, it would never hit the Enterprise. That's the problem. Star Destroyer is way too slow in sublight.
N2 paint. Star Destroyer would body the Enterprise.
What, paint to paint? Sure.
Kick Dennis, somebody says.
What if I hit a tricycle, even if the tricycle had a fucking Uzi on it, I'd still crush the tricycle. You know what I mean? But if they hit me, I'm dead.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Star Destroyer has shields too.
It does, but they're nowhere near the shielding in the Star Trek universe.
Oh, see, now you're just being biased.
It's not bias. I actually have both of them at home. I could bring up my technical manuals next time, and we could have a real debate on this.
All right, you bring over your Star Destroyer, bring over the closest proximity of an Enterprise you have that is in scale to whatever size the Star Destroyer is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the Star Destroyer as hard as I can at the Enterprise and see which one breaks the worst.
Hey, what's your YouTube channel called?
Awesome.
No, what is
Andy
it called?
Smith, comic artist, and then there's Dennis and Andy show.
Okay.
You know,
wanted the link.
Can a lightsaber deflect a phaser?
Yeah, that's a good question. In theory, it should be a yes.
I would think yeah.
Can a Star Wars fan mate with a Star Trek fan?
Yes.
Yes, and then what are their kids? Well-rounded.
Battlestar Galactica.
Well-rounded. No, I do like Galactica, though.
Use the Force, Harry.
Their kids come out as Spaceballs. That's what their kids are.
Spaceballs, yes.
By the way, that was on over the weekend. We caught the end of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Courtney's never seen it. We're like, you got to watch this.
Oh, my God.
You were comparing
Quest and Spaceballs, 2 required watchings for any of the youth today.
How about some Babylon 5 or some Stargate?
Oh, for serious stuff, absolutely. Definitely. Farscape, that's right up there. The Expanse is up there. Then you've got old campy Galactica, and then the newer version, which was fantastic. It was amazing.
Michael Bancroft's in the chat. What's up?
What's up, Mr. Bancroft?
What's up?
It is almost.
You guys say hi to the chat yet? Rude bastards.
We did. We went through it before we brought you on. Michael Bancroft. It's what is it over there? Like what? 3 a.m. or some shit? Something around there, isn't it? No.
All I know is they got big spiders and big snakes.
Oh my God, he shows those spiders that like.
But
it's
every
like,
day
oh
is
look,
a good
our
day.
friend came to visit on the wall, and I'm like, I would move. I'd have to have a flamethrower. Oh, it's 7 a.m. Okay.
And then that means Michael didn't get up. Knowing Michael, he probably stayed up all night working.
Probably.
So he's going to catch our show and then go to bed. Take a 20-minute nap and then get up for the next day.
You want to see one of Sammy's favorite jokes?
Sure.
This cup.
My cup of tea.
Yes. I've only drank coffee out of it, so she thinks it's funny.
Well, she's sick, so even if
Yes.
that wasn't the case, she might think it's funny.
Yes.
You should take a marker and change that T to a P.
Oh, that's a good one. Vipers versus X-Wings.
Vipers.
Man, I hate to say that, but I'm a Viper fan. That is my favorite of all those
Goku versus Superman. I mean, like, come on, let's just keep going.
We could. That could be a whole dedicated show.
Well, you know, Dan, speaking of which, before we get to the article that we're going to talk about future comics,
Yeah, I
Did you
glanced
hear
over it.
DC and Marvel are both doing a crossover in the fall? Each company's doing one.
I mean, I've heard about it. My opinion is, if it's good, I'll check it out.
That's what I said. I said
that's it. Like I
well,
didn't care for the last one. You
what was
know,
the last one?
I think Amalgam. If I remember.
Oh no,
correctly.
no, Amalgam doesn't count because that's where
Okay.
they mashed it up.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
This is
So
supposed to be crossover.
Justice League Avengers, was that the last?
That was the last one.
That was
Okay, but that was
solid.
like it was old and then new. You know what I liked? I liked all of the one versus ones.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Hulk, you know, that kind of thing.
Kind of like you said, if they do characters I like, it really is going to come down to who draws it. Because if I don't like the art, I don't give a shit who the characters are.
That's right.
So they better get some big hitters in there. Guys, I'm busy, so don't even contact me. Dan's a little busy right now. Don't contact him.
I'm wiping coffee off my keyboard. See all that 0320 shit that's in the chat?
Yes.
I spilled some of my tea on my number pad, so you're gonna get some numbers out of me. And you know,
you're not supposed to put alcohol in the coffee.
Oh, good. It failed to post. That's good. That's
no,
good.
it didn't. I'm looking right at it.
No. There were a whole bunch of other ones that thought I was spamming.
Oh,
look at that. 23. That's good. That's good.
This is the new Fraga code. Fraga code of the week is .02323.0.
That's funny. That's his code. And
it is. Look at that. 23.
It's his code.
That's weird, man.
Yeah, 230. Yeah.
0.0.
Wow.
Right.
That shows my interest in the comic if it sucks.
What's that?
0.23% of interest if the comic sucks.
Exactly.
Because I'm sure there'll be some nice covers, you know. Here's the thing, chat. What is very interesting about the bros, I can't speak for anybody else, but us bros actually do talk during the week outside of the show because we're friends. And Andy and I had a talk yesterday a little bit about Pepe Larraz.
Yeah, Pepe. Pepe's great. Dude. Get that big time or whatever it was called. It's a culmination of a bunch of stuff.
I got it. You know what though? I prefer him when he's drawing characters I recognize. You know,
he did X-Men for a while, and
I know his X-Men and his Spider-Man hit me. That big game, like some of the shots were nice, but like I didn't have any attachment to it. You know, it's like watching a movie where you don't recognize any of the actors, and like the cinematographer is great, but you know, but maybe it reads good. Maybe it reads.
Yeah, it's like that's not John Holmes. I can't get into this movie.
That's right, man. I love John Holmes. Up All Night Long, dude. 1976. That's a classic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pepe's great. I think he's mostly digital, which is unfortunate.
It could be. I know that Jorge Jimenez is digital, but
yeah,
Pepe. I've seen stuff online where he's draws.
Oh yeah, I mean Jorge does sketches and stuff. So does Dan Mora. But all right, let's dive into this article. Are we going to share? Are you sharing the screen for it?
I'll pop it up.
All right, we'll share the screen, paragraph by paragraph. We'll talk about it. Dan's very good when it comes to this stuff.
This popped up the other day when Andy and I were talking, and we were talking. Well, this kind of started. We went and saw our movie last week, and the lady next to us, I had Andy, me, lady, and her daughter, and it was a pretty good packed theater. And we were watching The Monkey, but we were all talking about different things. She is huge into cartoons, anime, manga. We got talking about some of the superhero stuff, but it was really interesting because the mother and the daughter, they're both far more into the manga and anime. Yeah. And I've talked to so many people just in this last week, and the American comic book stuff, they're not going to the stores as often. A lot of the guys that I used to know from the shop, they're stopped. Some of them are just doing Indiegogo, Kickstarter type stuff. So this kind of prompted our discussion talking about, what is going on? What is the state of comic books? And we found this really cool article that just kind of taglined it, and we thought this would be a great discussion for it. One of the first things to bring up is the rise of digital comic books. And you guys can even see that during, our Kickstarters, our Indiegogos that everybody has up there. There's a big demand for, do you have a digital tier? Now, what is the reasoning for it? It's cheaper. A lot of, we got so many of you guys that we know out of experience. You're over in Australia, you're over in Britain, you're out of country. It's really expensive to ship. So digital. So what do you guys think? Is digital having an impact on the comic industry as we see it taking a dive right now? Diamond looks like they could be going out of business. Diamond UK got bought by a company, and that same company is now looking at buying possibly Diamond USA. What do you think?
Well, I'm like, I don't know if it's a real quote, but I heard something about, like, you can look at boobies on a screen, or you can have them in your hand. And comics are like that way. They're just better in your hand. I would not be the one to talk regarding digital comics, as I collect digital comics, but I also collect them to have a database. I like having a library, but but I'm also very much about having the tangible. My buddy Hank hooked me up this weekend with Rumble, the physical copies of Rumble, which is a James Herron book. That's really great, and I'm telling you, just the physical thing is better. But I do understand. I want to have a copy of both. There's certain things that lend to digital, like certain artists actually. Like, for example, the Art Adams omnibus that had just recently come out. I bought the physical copy, and it's great, but it's got like all these layouts that are like barely bigger than 2 postage stamps. And the digital version, you can zoom in and blow it up as big as you want. And the same thing with panels. And maybe that's an esoteric thing to guys like us that draw for a living and want to really study it. But there are guys like Michael Golden, Arthur Adams, Jeff Darrow, to name a few, that I want to look at the details. So having a digital one copy would be good. But I mean, I've got different ideas regarding digital, that it's digital intangibles, and but I don't know. Webtoons is an interesting thing too, because, well, I'm sorry I'm doing all the talking right now, but I do have thoughts. I meet a lot of Webtoons people, and it's a vertical format.
Yep.
And this is what I think about. Would I want to draw a Webtoon? No. But would I want somebody to take my work and perhaps port it over to a Webtoon? Yes.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, and it's something I met with our good friend Marat Michaels this weekend too. He lives out in Vegas, and I was there for that diecast show, and Marat and I had lunch, and we were just talking about different things, different ways. Obviously this particular article goes through and talks about formats and things like crowdfunding and such like that. And, obviously there's Whatnot and all that, but these are ways of generating money. But at the same time, we are kind of talking to a captive audience, that isn't really expanding unless that audience shares it out, which we do have a great crowd that does share. But I don't know about you guys. Studying my analytics, 95% of my demographics are men, 35 to 60.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait, we're still talking about comics, not who you like to pick up at bars, right?
Yeah,
it's a weird Venn diagram. It's a Venn diagram, and
Right,
I'll meet
they
you in the middle,
overlap.
baby.
Dave's
No, but
Venn diagram. My
Yeah.
comic book audience, who I
yeah,
look
it's like
for,
this.
far,
It's
and
like
only
this.
a
See,
slight
you can see
overlap.
uh, no, the thing is it's about for me at least the way I've been thinking lately is about demographics going where
Sure.
the people are, and so guys like Rob Liefeld releasing a manga version of Bad Blood, or working those markets, or at least trying to get into those places to get those eyeballs. Uh, that's what it's about. So I think the future, at least for people that are working in comics, a couple of banana peels.
Yeah.
I think the future of comics for people that are already working in comics is to diversify the way in which they get their word out, and shape it for that marketplace. So if you're going to go do TikTok, don't mimic your Instagram. If you're going to do, we do fine on YouTube. We do okay on Twitter and Facebook. But the places where the new audience is, and they're obviously hungry for it, the market's there. They just don't know. They don't know they don't know that we're here for them. So I won't fall for the banana on the tailpipe trick.
I was just going to pop that.
Yeah, Smokey the Concat's got it right. Expand the fandom, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, because everything we do is quality, it's likable, but it's not unlike painting the best painting in the entire world, and only 5 people know the directions to the museum. You gotta have a billboard, and you need eyes to be able to understand that you're out there. So I
Sure.
think the future of comics is really not about changing formats, because we have formats.
Oh
Right?
yeah, no, I don't. And that's the thing. I think, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I might have said, "Oh yeah, eventually everything will go digital," but with records making a comeback,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, I think there's always going to be print. There's
Well,
just going to be both. It's like you said, it's expanding. It's giving people the choice.
Let's
Because
take your
some people,
example. You just said music, right?
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. Here's something, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Andy. I just didn't want to lose the thought. Something that I have ran into several times, and I'm just noticing people run into it in a comic book way, is that you pay for a subscription service, you have
right,
this thing, and then if that subscription service either loses the rights to have that thing or decides not to be a service, you lose the thing.
right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that happens. I had playlists with tons of jazz artists that I like, but then those contracts are up, and now those playlists, I can't find them anywhere. So unless I have the CD, the cassette, or the album, I'm not hearing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's
physical copies. I'm that way with movies to this day. Everybody's like, why don't you just go on Fandango at home, which used to be Voodoo, and just buy it? And I'm like, there are a few things I do, but I like getting the physical one. All of a sudden, my fiber went down, and I was like, what? You're stuck. So I just went upstairs, was able to grab a disc and pop in my disc and watch it. Got to have a backup.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Comixology in their terms of service or whatever. I think it does actually say, because I just saw a screenshot of it, that it's like, yeah, you can, buy it and it's there in the cloud, but it also says something along the lines of,
you're
well,
buying
you
a
don't
license.
actually own it. So
Yeah, you're buying the license to view it.
Huh?
You're buying the license to view it.
Right.
And they can terminate that license.
That's why I like having physicals. Now, with the Art Adams book, I did get that, but like you said, you sold me on it because of the stuff in the back. You can blow it up to see it.
Oh yeah,
clear. If those pages were printed, because that's an oversized omnibus, if each one of those pencil pages and
Like that
thumbnails
big.
was printed full size, I probably would have bought the book and been happy with it.
Yeah, I have both.
You know, back in the day when Marvel offered, I think they still do, the digital copy when you bought the physical. This was back when I actually bought Marvel and DC comics.
Well, they still do it. Marvel does.
I would peel it off. I would enter in the codes. I don't know because I don't really get them anymore. But I will read the physical 99 times out of 100. The one time I was like, all right, I'm going to be taking a long flight. It's going to be 15 hours in the air. I can have them on my tablet and I can read them in the plane. And I was like, all right, there we go. I'll download them that way and watch them. Other than that,
10,000 pounds on this little device. 10,000 pounds of comics here.
That's right. That's the benefit. It's not as enjoyable for me. I don't like it as much, but it's useful in certain situations. And like Chris, owning only digital makes them not yours ultimately. You need physical. Well, the other issue with that is some of the movies, let's say you wanted to watch Looney Tunes and now they have, they had descriptions up or warnings, or you no longer get to see the Roadrunner and Coyote, the Coyote go over the cliff and impact. They removed it. I want to see all the original stuff. They now edit stuff and will only show you edited stuff. If you don't have the regular copy, you lose some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're one of those people that for some odd reason thinks E.T. is a good movie, you probably want to see it where the cops are holding guns and not walkie-talkies.
Correct.
That is true.
You want to see Han shoot.
Boy, that actually brings a question because we haven't watched it yet. No. I have to find out which version that is, the new one.
You want to see Han shoot first.
That's right. Hans should shoot first. Yeah. But anyway, that's just it. Webtoons was one of the things Dan brought up, and this is it was a younger audience. Now, my daughter, who's in her late 20s now, she grew up with Webtoon type stuff. So even like, she's like, hey, Dad, you should check this out. You should check out this title. I'm like, I've never heard of it. Oh, it's a Webtoon. Then I've got my niece and my nephew, and they're on Webtoons, and they're sitting there scrolling. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I would enjoy that, but it definitely is a market because these kids, which are now, it's a decade, 12 years later, they're used to it. They enjoy it. All of their friends are into Webtoons and stuff like that. And I know some of the Webtoon creators will take their Webtoons and then publish them as trade paperbacks.
Yeah, they'll move it.
And it's like you said, if I don't have a problem with Webtoons, if somebody wanted to take the work and format it for Webtoons, okay, I'd want to, obviously look it over and make sure I approve of it, because that's our thing. Webtoons, if I understand it right, it is a specific, each panel's a specific format size, isn't it? You can't vary.
You scroll, well, no, it's not that. It's just that each instance is a certain size. So what you put in that instance, you can do whatever you want.
That's what I'm saying, right?
But it's a vertical format,
right? No, I know. But is Webtoons, and I honestly don't know. Is Webtoons, some of it's free and some you have to pay for, or is it all free?
I don't remember, and it's it's one of those business models that I don't really care for. Like I have a friend who has a business model that it's like, oh, you all share the wealth, but like let's say Todd McFarlane did a Webtoon, right? And my son Harrison does a Webtoon,
right?
People are going to subscribe to Webtoons for Todd, and they may find Harrison.
Sure.
But why shouldn't Todd get a bigger piece than Harrison? You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if it works that way. I think I'm not quite sure how the payment works on this.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But I think it seems like everybody.
I mean, when I was at CrossGen, 20 years ago now, 23 years ago, Mark wanted to try everything. Mark was doing, he did digital. He did, he was getting into doing animated with voiceover.
Yeah.
That one of my books was done that way, and I have the DVD of it. He did he did compilation, trade paperbacks where, he started with the core 4 titles, and the one trade paperback was issue 1 of each one. And those were cheaper to buy. So his whole thing was to get it in as many different formats as you can, And I think that's fine. That's why I go back to what I said earlier, which is I don't think print's ever going to go away.
I don't either.
I sure hope not.
Chris brings up the point, property law is not caught up to digital ownership. It's only a matter of time until you really don't own it if it's digital. You're just licensing it.
It's not just a matter of time. It is the time. That's basically what the small print of these things are saying.
Yeah, if Marvel, like Dennis was saying, when you get the Marvel book, peel off the little sticker on the inside, type in the code, download it to your account. Yay, it's mine. Until Marvel pulls it down or whatever, then it's not yours anymore.
Right.
But the one thing I think Ethan said he subscribes to it, and I looked at it. It's like $100, maybe 110 for a year. DC has a thing where you pay that, and you can't. I don't think you can download anything. It's read only. But you go to their website, and I mean, they've got almost everything they've ever published. You can search through and read.
That's pretty cool, except you need an internet connection.
Right. That's the thing. You need to have an internet connection where in this day and age, I mean, if you're on a plane, you pretty much have it. If you're at a hotel, I mean, you're pretty much covered there. Yeah. And like I said, I haven't checked into it. I just looked to see what it cost and what you got. Maybe you can only download one at a time or some shit. I don't know. I don't actually mind that model because, you're paying $100. You never own it in the first place. If you're sitting at home or you're at a coffee shop, as long as you have internet access, you're like, I want to read Action Comics number 12.
Yeah. See, my brain is synthesizing the idea of the movie business, right? Like we saw them on film, they put them on Betamax, they put them on VHS, they put them on Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, HD DVD, and now streaming. The one thing that's different, though, except for niche markets, is the collectability aspect of it, right?
Right.
Like, they kept turning up the juice. Like for example, today I posted something on Facebook because it cracked me up. The audio commentary by Ben Affleck on Armageddon is absolutely hilarious. And like you want to own that Blu-ray just to get that audio commentary because he is fucking hilarious throughout the whole thing. Like it's a movie in itself, right? So you think about, okay, well, that's something that makes me want to buy the Blu-ray over any other, format or whatever, at least at the time, right? Now it's the only way, unless you buy it on Amazon Prime, but even still, are you stuck in that licensing thing? But the big difference, though, like I said, is the idea that of the tangibility aspect. But I think it would be interesting if we kind of treated comics in that way. Maybe the future of comics is supplemental material that people can get to in certain ways, QR codes that you can only get through the book that send you to a making of documentary. And
Marvel tried that. Marvel had an app. Shit, I don't know if this was pre-COVID. I mean, 5-6 years ago, they had this app because I remember downloading it. And if you saw the little symbol on the page, you would hold your phone up to it and it would either take you to a behind the scenes thing or it might show you something extended or, whatever.
Well, yeah, like the reasoning behind stuff. Like I would totally, and Joe Bernardo hanging out with Joe and his wife was so fun. We had some Korean barbecue. Thank you again for dinner, my friend.
Were you at the Vegas convention? Is that why you were out there?
Yeah, I was in Vegas for Hot Wheels convention.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, very, I hadn't really put that math together. And one day I was at a show in El Paso, and one of the guests, a guy named Steve Johnston, he's the one of the toy experts on Pawn Stars. he happens to put on a diecast show. It's just Hot Wheels and other diecast cars like Jada and Matchbox, and you know, just an entire. It was very surreal because it was as if someone clicked like a switch and said, you know, Comic-Con, instead of comics, make it cars, right? And like, so you're just looking around and you just see guys like us, but instead they're looking at Hot Wheels and like talking about customizations and all that. And I got asked there because of my involvement with Hot Wheels when I was at Mattel, you know, but I learned a whole lot. And like I said, seeing Marat was really good. Seeing Bernardo and his wife was good. Seeing my buddy Hank and his wife was good. And of course, I got to hang out with my brother Rob, who I hadn't hung out with in a long time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yep, love the pictures. So we've got a few questions. Torchbearer is asking, do you think a cheap digital-only first issue would be a good way to start a comic campaign?
I don't know, because the idea of the campaign is so that you can do it,
right?
You know, not to do it. Yeah, not to do it and then campaign it, because it's like, I absolutely believe in the way in which I learned how to crowdfund from guys like Ethan. But also I brought in some of my own pieces of information that I used from Mattel, and how they do rollouts, and how they get the public aware of something that didn't exist before, and you know, and I tell people you really need to treat your project like a movie. You know, you don't put the movie out and then hope the audience shows up. Right. There's whispers. First there's whispers, and then there's a little more information, and then you give a reason for people to be excited, and then you get them, catch them with bated breath, and you make them excited that you're going to launch. You can't just launch and then make them excited.
Right. In the software business, I consider it like vaporware. You know, there's nothing tangible there. And you're like, I don't know if it would come out. I'm a physical guy. I know if I looked at personally a digital campaign, I'd be like, that looks cool, but I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. I've got to have something to hold up, look at. I just spent the last 3 days going through rearranging the man cave, getting all my comics that I've read back, into the boxes and adding on. You know, that's kind of a pain, but it's also half the fun. You can't do that with digital, and I don't know.
You know, my buddy Will has and is executing a great idea. What he's doing is he's been doing the breadcrumb way of showing people his project Meathead. And he's getting people on the sign up list and everything. But the first thing he's campaigning is an ash can, which I think is wonderful.
No, that's not right. Now that's not a bad idea.
See, that's what I was going to lead into. I wouldn't release the whole book as a pure digital, but you want to do an ash can, or a short 4-8 page story that's all digital, get people excited or something. That's a different way into the marketing in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, this comment, a campaign will get more eyes on a project, so it could be a good way to get the word out. You know, like we were saying before, the problem is the reason we do these campaigns is to raise the money so we can do it. So, for instance, we're going to be starting up the next campaign. The sign-up page is live. Lilith, Infernal Conflict. Go sign up today. But are there any interior pages drawn yet? No, not yet. I've got to do 5. 5 is what I usually do, 4 to 5 for the campaign page. But beyond that, the whole reason we're doing the campaign is to raise money so we can produce the book. I mean, if I could produce, a 15-page story and put it up as a campaign, that's done, well, why not just do more than that? That's what the crowdfunding is for. Is you're the producers of the project. You guys are the funders.
Yeah, Torchbearer says, I have 60 pages done for a story intended to print, coloring them now, but I want to do a 12-page, $1 issue with a digital-only story.
And see, that's not, and that's a great test. You've got 60 pages done, so why not? That's a case of you've got that work done, so why not do 10 to 12 pages for $1? And it's like throwing spaghetti against the wall. See if it sticks. It might work out great. And then when you actually launch the full book, you might have, all those people that backed it for the $1 for that, 12-page digital that come and just jump right on board. But a lot of us don't have, the time or the ability. I don't, to just sit down and do even 10 to 15 pages before I launch something.
Well, let's get back to the promoting aspect of things, though, because the one thing that I agreed with regarding the way that success. I've seen some successful campaigns is that you expand your audience. A lot of young creators, they don't know anybody. They're if they can only get on so and so show, that sort of thing. I will tell you this, and just being straight up honest, and why I haven't done it in a while. And I'm not going to name names because some people were great, but some people weren't, and the people that weren't probably know who they are. But if I have you on my show, I need the people watching to fall in love with you through you, not through me. Right. I can't make somebody like you. I am giving you an audience, but it is up to you to make that audience love you. And it's not, I show up, like if I went on, say, Jimmy Fallon, and I just sat there like, Jimmy, make them like me, sorry,
you're never coming back. Jimmy would be like, dude, you were dead wood.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like I get people on, and I like the art, I like the project, whatever, and it's like, tell me about your story, man. What made you want to draw? Well, I like drawing, and I spent a lot of time on this, and I always like fantasy. Fantasy's a genre, and I drew a lot of dragons. I'm just making it up, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. Why are you spending so much time doing this thing? What do you love about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it boils down to. It's obviously smaller creators. I implore you to branch out or create your own networks. Before the professionals, I knew Andy peripherally. I knew Billy peripherally. I knew Art from the studio. Now these guys are my best friends. We get together and we do a show every week. We support each other, and so I recommend getting with like-minded individuals, creating a sort of network. Also looking up and out. There's great shows like Topicless. There's great shows like Red Valkyrie and other shows that you can get on, and you just get out there and get known. The other thing too is get in those chats, and don't be obnoxious. I always tell my brother, like, the best way to get what you want is to ask for it. ... is where people stop. I always say the best thing to get what you want is to ask for it humbly, not expectantly, because I've seen some people like, hey man, I heard there's free to do it, and they wait there tapping their toes, kind of like, come on, it's my turn, let's go. And it's like, no, it's not your fucking turn. Like, be humble, get in there, sell the shit out of yourself. Imbue people. See, I learned that word from Andy. Imbue people with the same passion that you have for your own project.
Word of the day, Dennis. Ever heard of it?
To to make them. And yeah, don't be obnoxious. Like there's some people that are just spam. I myself have been guilty of that. I get overexcited sometimes, you
Oh,
know.
don't I know it?
Yeah, I know. Humping your leg and stuff.
God.
Oh, Joe
That's the
Bernardo
last
says,
time
how
you
about
sit
doing
next
some
to me at
liquid
a comp.
lightning on camera? No, Joe Bernardo's, he's talking about soju. That stuff is so good.
Oh, shoju's awesome.
Yeah, Joe and Becky changed my brother's life by taking him to Korean barbecue. You know, it was like he he got to try like sesame oil for the first time, which he's like, I hate sesame seeds.
Really?
I was like, just dip the meat in that and thank me later. And then of course he's like, give me more of that shit. You know, and same with the soju, he loved it. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, the future of comics, I think, is in utilizing what is out there, looking at what's out there, but mostly do what you love, but understand that the framework in which you navigate to get people to know you is very much like almost like a video game in a way. Like if you abstract it, right? You first time you play Super Mario, the next time you got the fireball, and the next time you have another power, and as you go, you keep leveling up to and learning things. So, like if my advice to guys like Andy, the bros, myself, is at a certain point, you need to do the supercharge, right? Or hire a PR company for a month, just 1 month, and get them to have magazines, radio, TV cover you just for a month. It's ROI, return on investment. Will you make your money back? I would guarantee you do, because I know guys like Rob Liefeld, Ed Piskor, RIP. They use PR people when it's time for their projects, and you always know it. You always know it. You see like article here, article there. Hey,
Right.
there's a blurb there. That's that, but you wouldn't do that on level one because no one will give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is to understand that it's procedural, that you level up as you go along, sell yourself, sell your project, be humble. Don't have any expectations that anybody should do anything for you. The only person that's doing anything for you is yourself. And the way it happens that other people do stuff for you is you form networks and brotherhoods where they can lean on you in the same way that you want to lean on them. And that's my future of comics.
Wow, that makes me really want to play Dragon's Lair now. Forward, right, forward, back, left, right, straight. There we go. Hey, Chris Thacker was asking, what do you all think about Billy getting back into comic stores? I think that ties in directly with knowing your audience and where to find it. I got issue number 2 of She in the stores. They couldn't get a 1, so he's trying to look for it. I, of course, backed it on his probably his Indiegogo one, but I'll support Billy in the stores too. I love it. Diamond's having problems, so the preview magazines is a huge issue.
That's the hard part now. Is I mean, I think it's great. She's a big property. 30 years old, and that's where people first discovered it, and they just don't even know about crowdfunding. So you'll get those fans that are like, "Oh, it's back in stores. Awesome, got to go get it." The thing is, Bob Gable. He's in Diamond. Well, if Diamond goes away, and I'm sure Billy's already looking into it, but he's got to find basically another with a lot of
distribution option.
What's that?
A distribution option.
Right. He's got to find another distribution option that has a catalog and everything so people know about.
See, Diamond.
Do people understand the way it would go about? Like the old school way of direct market, some people don't know, some people do. When you get previews, you put in orders. There's something called an FOC, final order cutoff. And generally those are about 3 months ahead of when they're in stores. Those numbers come in. They give the publisher enough time and room to make adjustments and things for pre-press. They go to the printer. A lot of times, at least in the old days, it was at Quebecor up in Montreal.
Yep.
Those then would be disseminated to distributor warehouse locations all over the states. I happen to work at one in the Bay Area in Hayward that would service Berkeley, San Francisco, Oakland, Concord. And what we would do is we would get those cases of comics via airplane delivered in avians. We would get pull lists and we would grab cases, and I would go, oh, there's Lumberjack Comics. Oh, they got 15 X-Men ones. They got, whatever, however many, whatever. And that's what we did. And then the store would come down to the warehouse and pick up their books and take them to the store and put them out. So, and it was kind of good for everybody because everything was hubbed. All the publishers could go to the printer could go to the locations, the retailers could go to those locations, it goes out. Now, if you're gonna get your stuff in stores, it's, they're gonna have to deal with delivery after delivery after delivery because
it's harder. It's more piecemeal. I feel for comic shops now just from talking to them. Ordering's a lot harder and getting the stuff.
My local shop didn't even get their previews last month. I've got it out in the car. The one for March just came in today. So I take it home, and now Marvel's got one, Image has one, DC's got one, and then previews now covers everything in there. Previews for you smaller publishers, they used to have a minimum that you could do before you could get into it. However,
now it's like,
because they were losing all their business to Lunar and Penguin and stuff, they cut that out, and they're like, there's no minimums, even if it's 500 copies, they're allowing it. But that's actually in jeopardy of going away altogether. So then what happens to that small press market? It's not even going to be an option.
It's really strange, man. It's
Another thing too is just to get back to that article, because I know you got to go at 4.
I do.
One of the things in the article did mention crowdfunding and stuff. Oh, you didn't have to share it.
Okay.
But it did mention crowdfunding and stuff. But you got to realize crowdfunding, it's a tough road. It's like Dan was saying before. You've got to build an audience. You've got to get yourself out there, whether it's with Comic-Cons, but actually more importantly, YouTube, Rumble, create a presence, create a YouTube channel, and start building that audience.
It's all about interaction.
And honestly, if you don't have a personality, and I'm being serious, if you're like, well, I'm an introvert and stuff, either see if there's depending on where you live, see if there's improv classes in town, go take an improv class. That'll help. If there's not, look on YouTube. You can almost find anything on YouTube these days for how to do stuff, but you just got to get yourself out there. It's tough. So, crowdfunding's great, but at the same time, if you don't have really any presence yet, you almost need to take 6 months to a year just to build that up before you even launch a campaign.
That's right.
If you just basically go, well, I want to do a book, I'm going to crowdfund it. I've never been on a channel. I have a Facebook page and that's it. Right. And you're
everybody in my town loves me and my comic shop thinks I'm the greatest.
Right. And then you just put the campaign up. I mean, the nice thing is it doesn't cost you any money to put the campaign up, so you can do it for 30, 60 days and cross your fingers, but more likely than not, it's not going to go anywhere.
Promiscuous says,
and Randy Howell's got a good point.
On an outdated system, shops don't have the proper software to continue. The shops, there's a high chance it's going to go the way of Book World and Walden Books, and the sphere is shrinking in terms of the audience, and then going digital versus not. The comic shops, the
audience isn't shrinking though. The audience for maybe American superhero, Marvel, DC stuff is shrinking.
Yes,
right.
And but where you got to be where those things are, right? And that's bookstores,
Right.
You know, things like
Yeah.
that. I honestly think that if it made it into people's hands, that's all it really takes.
So
You know?
I would almost think, going back to Chris's question about, Billy getting back into comic shops, Dan, let me know what you think of this, and you too, Dennis. I would almost think if you're going to get back into a brick and mortar, it might be more beneficial to get it into a Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, because those get more traffic than a comic shop does.
But
right.
Now, does that section get more traffic? Because that's the other thing. They might get more foot traffic,
Right.
but then you have to break it down to what's the foot
where
traffic
you get shelved
in the graphic novel section.
Their manga section is
and floppy. You're not going to get. There's no.
You wouldn't do a floppy.
There's no floppy opportunity, right? So you're looking at 64 pages or more.
Right. You would just take your crowd-funded book, basically, if it is 48 to 64, not reformat it.
That depends on the SKU number, right? Like where they put you. Like if you sold as a manga book, right? Like that's just it. That's why I thought the Rob Liefeld's approach with Last Blood doing a manga version was so genius.
Who else did a manga version of their book? Kordrath the Reckoning.
Yeah,
they did. Another genius. Another genius.
And as much as I like Rob, we actually did ours first.
Well, did you know that Hydrox came before Oreo?
Hey, shut your mouth.
Oh.
And where's Hydrox now? Nowhere. Damn.
Wow.
I'm just saying Hydrox was first.
Nowhere.
Have you ever heard of Kid Brick?
No.
They were the first Lego, and Lego copied the idea, but you don't know Kid Brick.
That's right. Back Kordrath. Well, you can't back it anymore, Joe. The campaign is officially closed, but you can go sign up for Lilith Infernal Conflict now, which before Dan goes, we'll just share that real fast.
Let's do it.
There it is. The sign up page is live. Go sign up. Sign up, back the book, front of the line shipping. You will get Lilith. Takes place
I love that cover.
In the world of Kordrath. It takes place in the Abyss. Dennis, tell us a little bit about Lilith, would you please?
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a different story. This is how Kordrath, it's fantasy, but it's also got that light humor and stuff. There's going to be none of that. This is going to be good, dark fantasy. There is the war of the infinite fields. So you basically have the 9 layers of hell fighting the 666 layers of the abyss. Well, what is Lilith? Why is she there? You guys get to find out her backstory, find out all about her and what's going on up there, because everything that's going on, or I should say down there, has a direct impact on the Shattered Reach in Kordrath's world. So yes, a complete look at a different plane of existence and her home and what her role could possibly be in Kordrath.
That's right. And of course, for this, we always do homage covers, and there's only one homage cover to choose for this campaign.
That's right.
And you'll know what it is just by looking at this piece of art. So go sign up for that. This will be launching sometime around April or May. So it just depends. We got to get Kordrath shipped out. Kordrath, by the way, guys, books will be in the house March 19th. Books will be here, and we can start shipping them out.
Yeah, you could dance a shillelagh on the St. Patrick's Day, knowing in 2 days that the books are coming.
That's right. That's weeks. So there you go. What movie are we seeing this week, Dennis? We are seeing, oh, God. It's that Woody Harrelson one that's based on a true story. Dan, I know you have to take off. If you have to, that's fine, because we're just...
I do. My kids like, are you leaving yet? That's why I keep getting...
Now, I was going to say, in response to your text where you said you have to pick up your kid, my first response, which I didn't type, was, last I checked, they have 2 working legs. and they need
Yes.
to learn a little more responsibility. Just
Yes.
saying, Dan,
Yes.
cut the leash, make them grow up a little faster.
Yeah. What is
That's
the
all.
studio,
Wow.
Dawn? Dawn, is that your show? Dawn says you need to get on the studio. It's if it's your
show.
Saturday show, it's tough because you know, the kids are home and it ends up turning into family crazy stuff. Like I'm one of the well, some of the other comics gators do, but I'm one of the few that have like little kids, 6, 11, you know, like the ones that you can't just say go do stuff, which I wish they would. But thank you for having me on here, Andy.
Yeah, dude.
Dennis too.
Always, Dan.
I miss your Musk, but hey, April, we're gonna be doing South Carolina Comic Con together in April 5th and 6th. Also being joined by our brother Billy Tucci. How
Billy
exciting
the
is that?
Tooch.
You're gonna get 3 out of 6 bros in one show, which is always a good
It's
thing.
gonna be a great show.
Yeah. Big respect to the chat. I'll see you guys later.
All right, Dan. Take care.
Peace.
Bye. And Shane Davis will be there as well. Don't want to leave him out. Yes, we are seeing Last Breath.
That is it.
With Woody Harrelson. I can't remember his name, but he's the dude that played Shang-Chi. He's in it as well. It is based on a true story. I love stuff like that. It looks really good. So, you know what? It's kind of a light week. So that's what we're going to go see. And we'll drop our movie review Friday morning. And of course, we're doing our review. As soon as the movie's over, we jump in the car, cue up the camera phone, and record it right from the car. That's it. Samu Liu. I probably mispronounced it, but you know, that's the guy. He's in it as well. Woody Harrelson. I think it looks good. So fingers crossed.
We've had a few good ones in a row, so let's hope it continues.
Yes, we did. And the review is up on each of our channels. So basically, because we like to be teases, we did see Cap 4. And if you want to know what we thought, go check out the review on the channel. And there you go.
We did. We brought in Christian Blatt. We did an immediate
we did that
reaction,
as well, too. Yeah.
And then we also did the full spoiler review with Christian Blatt. That was last week.
It is South Carolina Comic Con.
SC Comic Con.
SC Comic Con for short. And it is April either 5th and 6th or 4th and 5th. It's a 2-day show. It's that first weekend in April. It is fantastic.
It's a great show.
Fantastic show. Oh, Giancarlo Esposito is going to be there.
I know. I saw that. He was added. I was like, I wonder if I got something for him to sign. Buy your tickets now, they said.
That's right. Guys, go sign up for the next book from Astonishing Comics and Dennis and Andy, Lilith, Infernal Conflict. Core Draft will be coming your way soon. If you missed out on Core Draft, of course, we always overprint. It'll be part of the new campaign, and we'll put them up on the website too. So there you go.
I did. I took a bullet for you. I took a bullet for you, John.
Oh, wait. You got Hot Wheels Toth Comics. I have a book called Alex Toth Hits the Road or something like that. It's an oversized book that collects a lot of his...
I got a couple of issues, but I don't have the whole run.
I don't have any of the individual issues. The only Hot Wheels comics I own are the two that... It's either one or two that Neil Adams did. Core Draft merch. Yes, go to the website. We still have some t-shirts available. I think they're on the website. T-shirts might not be because they're very limited with what we have. But go to coredraft.com and hit the store. There's a nice frosty mug you can get. There is a couple blankets, stuff like that. So yeah, go to the website, check it out. There you go. Randy Howell coming to our rescue as always. So check that out. And there you go, guys. Dennis and I are actually going to go grab some pizza at this new pizza joint owned by one of our former guests, Riley Brown. His brother owns it here in Charlotte. So we're going to go try it. So
yeah, he told us about his brother's thing. He says, we need to try it. And we're like, hey, this is the week. It's down over in Noda. We're going to go give it a shot, and we'll let you guys know. But we love pizza, so I think it'll be great.
That's right. I'm going to try and talk Dennis out of getting his cheese bread pizza, which is just a cheese pizza. See if I can, have them live a little.
Nobody. No, cheese. No. That is not a pizza. My God.
That's what I try to tell you, but that's what you order.
Everybody who knows me knows cheese. I will never order a cheese pizza in my life.
Hey,
unless there's literally nothing else.
Since we're driving.
The more the better. Anything but sardines.
Since we're driving basically 20 minutes away, on the way back, if we pass a Dunkin', I can get a sweet-ass plain cake donut for dessert.
You should have reminded us. Fraga sent us a text because he sent a video because he went to, I think it was Dunkin' Donuts, and he pulled out a glazed donut, and then he pulled out a plain cake donut. Oh, my God, why? Of course,
plain
Andy
cake
said
donut.
It's the best.
It's the bomb.
And it's not.
All right, guys. We will catch you later next week. Be here, 3 p.m. It's our last show because the week after that, Dennis is going on his first vacation of the year. Keep tally, everybody. Get your bingo card with Dennis's vacation destinations. This is the first of probably 385 vacations he's going to take this year.
Yeah.
But next week, we'll be back.
But the cool news is when I get back, set foot back in the state, the books will be literally arriving within 2 days.
And then we can do a live stream as we're shipping out Core Draft The Awakening. Bye-bye, everybody. We'll catch you